Hello, 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 Facebook family. It is 7 o'clock, December 13th, 2023, 2023. So, I feel like it's been a little while since I've been on, but it's actually been 2 weeks. This time of year is super hectic. I'm sure it is for everybody else. I'm hoping that you guys had a great week so far. And today my wife is not here, so it's a little lonely over here. She is taking care of some business with Kai and trying to be supportive while he's at his basketball game, which he's doing very well at in basketball. But definitely want to make sure that we support him, even if it's just one of us. But I wanted to talk about Elevate, give some, I guess, the basics. Talk about the Elevate being a leadership company consulting. We touch on various topics, anything under the realm of leadership, whether it be communication, accountability, whether it be planning and preparation, finances. Touch a little bit on finance, just because you can't be a leader if you're broke and you can't take care of yourself. So at the end of the day, this is what it's about. Elevate's an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, and effectiveness. And that's what we talk about. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to our Friendsmas party. We call it Friendsmas. That's actually that's actually a phrase that my wife coined. Basically, have friends and family over, and we have a great time. This is our second year doing it, and we also, what we do is, please post, say hello so I know that you're there. Please say hello so I know that you're there. But I definitely want to give a shout out for Friendsmas. That's our second year doing this. We only been married 3 years, so this is just a fun event where we invite friends and family over, and everybody brings an unwrapped gift. They bring an unwrapped gift, and we take those gifts to Attack Poverty, which is a local organization. Actually, they're all over the city of Houston. But we go to this organization and give the gifts to them. So great turnout for us. Wanted to make sure that I shout out them, because we plan on making this a ritual and doing this over and over and over and over again. So let's see here. Also, what did I say? We also raised about 30 gifts. Hi, mom and dad. It's good to see you on. The parents were there. We had some other aunts, and I had some aunts there. One of my aunts announced her engagement, so that was also kind of a fun situation there. So overall, it was good. Felt like it was our best year yet with the Friendsmas. So I just want to thank you guys that participated in it and that made the sacrifice and drove to Houston, or I should say Rosenberg. Hey, Tamika, it's good to see you on. So here we are. We don't have as many as I would like, but we're gonna get started at 7:03. And I wanted to talk about the quote of the week. And we change things up a little bit every now and then. If you didn't hear me earlier, Shar is at Kai's basketball game, so we had to make sure one of us are there to support him. But the actual quote of the week, and I love this, it being football season. Some of you guys will appreciate this. It says, if you got to tell them to help you carry the bricks, they ain't the ones to build with. If you got to tell them to help you carry the bricks, they ain't the ones to build with. Coach Metters. So very powerful. I love that quote, because at the end of the day, you're looking for people who will match your energy. You're looking for people who know how to look a little bit of ahead. So if you are picking up bricks and somebody's watching you and don't have the wherewithal or the ability to say, you know what, I need to help with these bricks, then those are not the people you want to build with. So that's our quote of the week. And then today's topic was actually suggested. And, I was like, Ed has a book coming out. So, we planned to interview her last week, but the book hadn't come out yet. And then last week, we had the Stegan reunion. So all of us that went through Stegan left and went to Dallas, and I got a mixed bag with that, but it was a good experience. And then so we didn't get to interview Ann. So then the plan was to interview her this week, but she wants to wait till the book comes out, actually a hard copy of the book, so she can have it in hand and show it on the screen, which is understandable. So we're waiting on that, but we definitely want to interview her. So her book is basically about growing up in down here in Texas in the A&M College Station area, and it's based on a 10-year span. It's based on a 10-year span of her life. So, but the suggested topic to me was it kind of simmered, and I thought about it, and I said, man, that is a good topic. And it's how to deal with the unexpected. So today, that's what we're going to talk about: how to deal with the unexpected. And this is episode 116. I can't believe it's 116. How to deal with the unexpected. So before we get started, let's do a little icebreaker. If everybody on the call can tell me, and I know that's not a whole bunch of everybody on the call can tell me, one word to describe how they feel. One word to describe how they feel. And it has to be a positive word. One word to describe how they feel. I kick it off and I'll say curious in a positive way. Curious. I'm curious about this upcoming year. I'm curious about, Tamika said, fantastic. I'm curious about who I will be at this time next year, because every year you evolve, right? Well, at least you hope you evolve. Some of us devolve, but we hope to evolve. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious, and I want to make sure. My dad said fantastic. We got two fantastics. I guess it's the Christmas season. The Christmas season. So if you're on, we're saying one word to describe how we feel today. One word. I said curious, and the only restriction was it has to be positive. It has to be positive. So Tamika said fantastic, and Mom, is that you and Dad saying fantastic, or does Mom have another word to describe how she's feeling? One word. One word. So while she's getting ready to type that one word, this one here, is definitely it's definitely kind of touches your emotions in a way. When I was thinking about some of the things, because my takeaway when you're dealing with a topic, how to deal with the unexpected, it can go a lot of ways. Unexpected what? You won the lotto, unexpected death. It can go a lot of different ways. So one of the things that we want to touch on, though, before we get into it, is we got basically 3 points. I got a couple things I want to share with you. Some short. It's not a poem, but it's a Mom said great. That's awesome. But it is a little kind of a one-page little story which really fits in, and then I want to share a quote by Frederick Douglass, which is what I'm going to end with, which is really, really good. I really love this quote, really inspirational. But we said how to deal with the unexpected. We just said there's 3 points. It was really 3 points. I mean, you can put a lot of stuff down, but I think if you always look for the core. And the first point is you got to expect it. You have to expect the unexpected. How many times have things went the way that you planned? I mean, really. I mean, I can't think of any time that things went the way that I planned. So we learn early on. We call it pivoting in the business world. You can call it adjusting, also, but it just never goes the way you plan. You learn things while you're on your journey. So if you want to deal with the unexpected the right way, you got to expect it. You got to expect the unexpected. And when I'm talking about expect the unexpected, it goes with the those that go in a dark place. I would say, hey, expect joy. Everything is not going to be bad. Expect love, expect peace, expect generosity. I listened to a speaker when I was at a conference last week, and the speaker has pancreatic cancer. and they wanted to put him immediately on chemo. They said as soon as they find out you got pancreatic cancer, they said that's the worst of the cancers, and you're gonna die. There's no. You can slow it down a little bit, but you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die quickly. So he rejected the chemo, and he's been outlasting the predictions of his death. So, but one of the things that he said was that one thing he learned on this journey since he got the devastating news that he had pancreatic cancer is that he really learned how generous people could be. He says, "Man, people that were friends sacrifice." Hey, Mister Roundtree, Mister Andre, it's good to see you. He said that he really never experienced the type of generosity. He had one guy uh, that just took off his job and took him to some of the clinics he needed to go to. And this is a business leader. This guy got a lot going on. But he said, you know what? When our friends get pancreatic cancer, we sacrifice. That's what the guy told him. So expect generosity. But on the flip side, expect pain, expect lawlessness, expect greed, expect perversion. So I mean, I I don't know if it's just me being, cynical, but at the end of the day, I'm not surprised when a baby gets killed. I'm saddened, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when you hear about an elderly person get raped. I'm saddened. I think it's despicable, but I'm not surprised. You know, I have a guy that I work with named Kenneth. I was talking to about a couple of days ago, and this is why this stirs up with me so much because Kenneth, his daughter died, and Kenneth is a guy that we're trying to promote to an assistant, and he's having a hard time dealing with everything. And here we are with all these expectations, things we need you to learn, things we need you to learn quickly, and he's dealing with the fact that his daughter died, and so he shared it with me. A very sad situation. And I just told him, man, I said, I get it, man. I said, you need to do what you need to do to get yourself right. I said, all I can do is tell you what I do when I'm hit with those things is that I just look at what the words say. And, there's a section in the Bible that talks about that the death is the beginning of life. It's all about perspective, man. It's all about perspective, you know, and I say it's just about, looking at it a certain kind of way where you don't become the victim, and looking at it in a certain kind of way that you understand that it is the most fair thing on this planet. Everybody, they always say death and taxes. Please, I know for a fact everybody don't pay taxes, but everybody, and I mean everything, everyone dies. You can count on it. You can count on it, right? So, he's still with us. He hasn't missed any days. He seems to be okay. But at the end of the day, it's about how he looks at that thing, right? So, the other thing, the second point, here it is, 713. Yeah, it was a child passing. It's actually a teenager. But the second point is stay on the offense. If you want to deal with the unexpected, you have to stay on the offense. I mean, every day you got to be the person that's the you're like UT has this expression last year, all gas, no brakes. You have to stay on the offense. The second that you just stop, that's when life catches up and runs you over. But you got to stay on the offense. And what do I mean by that? So I got on here. Um, Number one is you just got to work. You got to work with filling yourself with wisdom and knowledge, and you got to pursue goals. You got to work beyond your 9 to 5. That's the thing that I noticed. It has probably been this way for decades, but I mean, when people go to work, they act like that's enough. It's just not enough. You have to work on you. So when do you work on you? So work beyond the 9 to 5. And I always say this: treat pleasure like an alcohol. Treat pleasure like alcohol. They tell you to drink responsibly. Well, you got to play responsibly. Once you start dibbling and dabbling in pleasure, that thing can take you left. Next thing you know, you'll be like, hey, what happened? How did I end up in this place? So I always say you gotta treat pleasure like alcohol. Play responsibly. so you don't get taken away, because things that feel good ain't always good for you, right? But you got to work. You got to work for your peace. You got to work to grow. You got to work to have healthy relationships. And 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 I love the fact that, and I don't know where I got this from, but I remember being told that you really got to value people that don't want anything from you, but all they want to do is see you succeed. And usually that's your parents, but they don't want nothing from you. They just want to see you win. That's it. And you want to surround yourself with as many of those types of people as possible. So if you want to deal with the unexpected, number one, you got to expect it, right? You got to expect the ups and downs of life. And then number two, if you want to deal with the unexpected, you got to stay on the offense. And that means working on yourself. That means working beyond the 9 to 5 job. That means treating pleasure like alcohol. Um, and then, of course, you always focus on the big three: relationships, money, and health. And Shar and I, we disagree on this, and I think she's coming my direction a little bit. But Shar is the person that is super, super, super trusting. And she's like, well, I trust everybody until they show me I can't trust them. And I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. I think early on I was like that, but now I'm not like that. I protect my circle, and I'm very protective over my circle. And whoever's in that circle, um, that's it. It's going to take an act of Congress to get somebody into that circle, and I'm fine with that, because I know that that's a lot of work to keep that circle strong. And if you let just anybody get in there, that's when you can cause yourself some undue pain. So I'm big. I sit on that side. I trust. I always say trust everyone, but trust no one. That's my philosophy. Trust everyone, but trust no one. Uh, number three. Number three. Are you guys still there? Type of one if you're still there. Type of one if you're still there. I will never get used to this platform. I'm just telling you. It's no, it's rough. I would never get. We got Tamika put a one down. Thank you, Tamika. I will never get used to this platform because there's no interaction. So all day long, I'm interacting with live people. Mr. Roundtree, a one. Thank you. And then in this platform, there's no person, there's no interaction. So, uh, and then my job, what I do is I listen a lot. Well, on this one, you speak a lot. So I will never ever. We love the platform on this end. Well, thank you, Tamika. Tamika's engaged, so everything's good. She can get robbed and probably have a great conversation with the robber. She's engaged. Everything's great. She loves life. Everything's good. All right. Number three. Number three. How to deal with the unexpected is never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever make an excuse. If you want to deal with the unexpected the right way, never make an excuse. And this is a hard one, right? Because if it's all about how you look at it. And I want to read this quote, but I will in a second, by Frederick Douglass. And but at the end of the day, it's dangerous when you make an excuse. And I work with people and they say, "Well, Curtis, it's not an excuse. It's what really happened." And I say, but there's a danger in it. And I would like to hear those that agree. If you agree that you should never make an excuse, or you're on the other side that says, "Hey, sometimes you just got to. It's not an excuse. It's a reality." If you believe that you should never ever make an excuse, put a one down. If you're on the other side that says, "You know what? Sometimes it's just reality," put a two down. If you're the person that blames other people for everything, put a three down. you know, so you got your ones, the people that don't believe you should ever make an excuse. You got your twos; those are people that say, "Hey, sometimes it is what it is, Curtis." And then you got your threes; those are the people that are always putting the responsibility on somebody else. So I would like to hear y'all chime in on that. I know I only got a few people on today, but I like to hear you chime in, because I don't believe that, I think it's dangerous. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute, so that I get some of these responses. Tamika said one is you should never make an excuse. My dad said one, uh, and I'm going to say that the reason why, the number one reason why you should never ever make an excuse. Excuses are dangerous, true, but the number one reason why you should never ever make an excuse. Richard Roundtree said one and two. At least you didn't say three. You didn't say three. But the number one reason to me, right, that you should never, ever, ever make an excuse is that it kills creativity. It kills it because once you say the reason why you can't, whatever, you're not thinking anymore about what you can do to overcome the obstacles. So that's to me is the number one reason. There's two major reasons, but that's the number one reason. It kills creativity. You're no longer trying to figure out. It's almost like, think about it. They say that, hey, we want to fly. We want to get in the air and fly. We want to, and then the person crashes over and over and over again. And they have great reasons why they crashed, right? Hey, it's not natural for us to be in the air. We're humans. Leave that to the birds. You could have all kind of reasons why. But at the end of the day, somebody said, you know what? We can do this thing. And they kept thinking and they kept thinking and they kept thinking and they kept thinking and they did it. But when you have excuses, you cut all that creativity off. And I'll remember my first aha moment when it came to creativity was when, and I put this in a book that one day will get published one day, but I put it in a book is when my manager, he gave me a list of stuff to do. It was my first time running a shift. I was an assistant manager. I went from the individual that just did his job and I was good at it. I was really good at it. And he promoted me. And now he got this crew. The problem was in my mind, it was still just me. So when he gave me this list with all this stuff to do, I was like, man, this is impossible. This is impossible to get all this stuff done. There's no way, because I'm thinking about just me getting it all done. And he told me, and I thought it was such a great way of forcing me to think. He says, listen, Curtis, my job is to ask the impossible, and it's your job to make it possible. And when he told me that, it sparked creativity. I started saying, okay, how can I make this impossible task to do possible? So that's number one. The second reason, and this is a very strong, if I had a 1A and a 1B, that's how I would do it. The second reason why you never, ever, 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 never, ever want to make an excuse is because it gives the power to someone or something else. It gives them the power, right? So I love, it's no, you guys know what color I am. I love thinking about the discrimination and slavery and all that kind of stuff. I think about that, and I think about how many things we can say to ourselves about how we cannot get to wherever we want to get to. But the problem with that is that there's a story that I'm kind of shaped by, and I never had this situation. I had a junior version of this, but there was a story about a guy named Job. Now, of course, to me, this is a microcosm of the bigger problem that we had in our country. But you never, ever heard him make an excuse. If anybody could have made an excuse, you think he should have made an excuse. Everybody around him told him why it's happening to him. They have their opinions, but he stayed focused. And I believe that's why at the end it said that he gained more than he had before. I mean, he had kids die. It was terrible, And to me, there's a lot of symbolism to that. And I believe, and this is just me, I believe God is telling us never, ever make an excuse, because Job is the oldest book in the Bible. I know it's in the middle, but it's the oldest book. And I believe is you should never, ever, ever make an excuse, because one, it kills creativity. Two, it gives the power to someone or something else. So that's my take on that. So 3 points. I'll say it again. If you want to deal with the unexpected, this is episode 116. If you're on, please chime in. I see a few people jumped on. Please chime in so we can know you're here. Just put your name, and you don't have to put where you're from or anything, but if you want to, you can. Um, uh, so we can see you on here. But we said if you want to deal with the unexpected, the first thing is to expect the unexpected. Expect it. Expect the highs and the lows. I told you a story about Kenneth, the guy I work with whose daughter died. Um, and then number three, stay on the offense, especially in the three areas: relationship, money, and health. Stay on the offense. You know, treat pleasure like alcohol. Drink responsibly, play responsibly. Right? Value people that don't want anything from you. People that just want you to succeed. Number three, never, ever, ever make an excuse. If you want to deal with the unexpected, just take it on and just own it. Just own it. I've even, think about it. So even when the stuff that happens that's terrible in life, even the stuff that happens is terrible, you got to look at like I look at it like, hey, this was sovereign. Someone allowed this to happen. This was allowed to happen. And my response to is going to change the world, how I respond to this. So to me, it's just paramount. If you want to deal with the unexpected, you gotta own it. You gotta own it. And I wanted to share this story when it comes to relationships, because we have a point there that talks about relationships, and I didn't get to read this, but this is pretty powerful. Um, it says, somewhere between then and now, I went from mom, stop telling me what to do, to mom, please tell me what to do. Somewhere between then and now, I went from mom, you don't understand, to mom, I don't understand. Somewhere between then and now, I went from mom, stop asking so many questions, to mom, I have so many questions. Somewhere between then and now, I went from mom, leave me alone, to mom, never leave my side. Somewhere between then and now, I realized the other half of my heart was always the person who created it in the first place. And this was a daughter writing this to their mother. So I thought that was powerful. Having somebody with you that don't want anything from you, they just want you to win. And then when it comes to owning it and making sure you don't make any excuses, this quote from Frederick Douglass. He says, our destiny, remember, Frederick Douglass was a slave that ran away, succeeded. He ended up even moving over. I think he moved. I can't remember. I think he moved to England just because it was getting, some people were trying to get him again. So he moved, but he helped educate and get other slaves free. He did a lot of stuff. He's considered a hero, not a black hero, but an American hero. But he said, listen, he says, our destiny is largely in our own hands. If we find, we shall have to seek. If we succeed in the race of life, it must be by our own energies and our own exertions. Others may clear the road, but we must go forward or be left behind in the race for life. If we remain poor and dependent, the wealth of others will not avail us. If we are foolish, the intelligence of others will do little for us. If we are wasteful of our time and money, the economy of others will only make our destitution the more disgraceful. So this is a man that was a slave. And he said, listen, I don't care. We got to own this thing. If we want to succeed, we got to own this thing. And that's why one of the reasons I really believe this. It's Frederick Douglass. I think this was in his autobiography. But at the end of the day, it's 7:29. Please, if you like to put a 1 down, if you didn't like to put a 2 down, and I go back to the laboratory and work on me. So if you the few people that are on, please put a 1 down or a 2 down. I never want to waste anybody's time, but how to deal with the unexpected, you got to expect it. Hey, Alex, man, we got to get together. Every time I see you, I tried to call you one time, Alex. I tried to call you because I saw that you called. I got a 1 from Mr. Roundtree, if you want to deal with the unexpected, you got to expect it. You got to stay on the offense. And then number 3, never, ever, ever make an excuse. Thank you. Excuses hinder your growth too. That's right, Tamika. So it's 7:30. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. We will be on next Wednesday. Is next Wednesday? I got a 7:21. Okay, so that's not Christmas. So we'll be on next Wednesday. And guys, I hope you I really appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's a sacrifice. Mr. Roundtree, Mr. Andre, really enjoyed it. I love Mr. Andre is a man. That's all I can say. I love his competitive spirit. We play spades when he comes over, and we just have a good time. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Valerie Marshall. And you guys have a great day and enjoy your evening and finish the week strong. Have a good one.